Welcome to the Silverthorne Pulse. I'm Kim Jardim with the town of Silverthorne. I'm here today with Town Manager Ryan Highland. We're going to provide a recap for you of the work session and town council meetings from Wednesday, March 12th, 2025.
All right.
Should we start with work session?
Let's do it.
Okay. So, Executive Director Kellen Ender was in from Building Hope, which is a organization that provides mental health resources in our community. She was there to give an update.
Yeah, getting some time with the council, and that's important because the town of Silverthorne, along with all the other municipalities in the county, are financial supporters of Building Hope through some of the nicotine dollars that come to each of the municipalities. So we're all very interested in what Building Hope is doing and want to support them. So Kellen provided updates on kind of their general operations, but then also some work that they had done with a outside party on really just looking at the whole landscape of mental health assistance in the county and identifying some of the trends and where needs are. So kind of in a nutshell, I think one of the focuses for Building Hope moving forward, Kellen shared, was really focus on the younger members of our community. And so the presentation is still in that packet, so if anybody's interested at kind of looking at the statistics about the mental health of our community and alcohol use and a variety of other things that were part of that inquiry, you can find all that information in the packet, and appreciate Building Hope for everything they do.
They also have a robust website full of events for community members as well as resources to mental health.
They do.
Assistance.
They have that resource guide, which is kind of an A to Z. If you have needs in behavioral health, check that out and make sure that you're using that resource.
For sure. We also had some representatives from the Blue River Watershed Group, which is a nonprofit organization. Vanessa and Barrett were present to also give an update.
Yeah, we are fortunate that that organization has been looking at a challenge that we have with the Blue River, kind of in the Silverthorne and north of Silverthorne area, where it lost its gold medal designation a number of years ago. And so lots of folks got together kind of from the scientific community and then also Blue River Watershed Group to look at how can we improve the habitat and the river health. And they've received some significant grant approvals, and so they've been working on a program to really look at that habitat and improvements that could be made. Town of Silverthorne has also done some grant matching, and so $150,000 of funding towards this effort. And unfortunately, I said they've got some grant awards totaling about $2.7 million. However, they're really in a holding pattern right now with the federal administration and lots of federal funding kind of being in this uncertain period right now. So had hoped to get more of an update on some of the work that's coming up, but it's really on pause. But still appreciate the efforts that are being made there, and we're hopeful that that funding can free up sooner than later and get back underway with all of the work there.
Absolutely. There was also a 2024 financial update and preview of supplemental budget appropriations from you and our Finance Director, Laura Kennedy.
Yeah, Laura Kennedy walked the council through. There's a lag. I know that 2024 is in the rear view for most of us now, that we're deep into March, but those sales taxes, the reporting and understanding of just exactly where they were at the end of the year don't come in until about now. So we have an understanding now of where we finished 2024, and unfortunately, sales taxes continued to be tapering, didn't finish the year as strongly as we had hoped. We have other revenue sources that really propped up the budget, so overall, we ended the year just fine. But looking forward, there's some concern about really the horsepower of sales taxes in 2025. Including, as we mentioned, some of the uncertainty around things going on with the federal administration and inflation and just a whole lot of uncertainty, I guess you would say, for this year. So looking at coming back to have a conversation with the council at the next work session about what are the adjustments that we can make in the 2025 budget to make sure that we are aligning what we think will be the revenues this year with our expenditures. So more to come there, but the first step was how did we finish 2024? And like I said, finished all right, but some trends that we can't ignore, including the tapering off of sales tax.
So that presentation is also in the packet, right? If anyone would like to take a look at that?
Correct, yeah. If you're
Okay.
interested in the various revenue sources and even the various components within sales tax, how did, restaurant do, how did lodging do, you can always dig into that in the packet.
Okay. And you provided also an update regarding leasing at the Smith Ranch apartment buildings. We have 2 different products there on the property, and I saw cars in the parking lot the other night, and people are moving in.
Yeah, it's getting leased up, and so as you mentioned, there's 2 different products. So there's one that is really got some low-income tax credit funding behind it, and so those units can only be rented to those making no more than 60% of the area median income. And so in that particular part of the development, 39 of those units are occupied. So it's great to have 39 units leased up. And then in total, 61 of those units are either have folks in them or are in the process of that lease up. So that leaves, I think, 4 units in that particular part of the development. So about a little over 90% leased up, and that's fantastic. The workforce is what we've kind of coined the other portion of the development, and so that's 80 to 120% area median income is the eligibility there. And so for that, 28 of the units are occupied. So those move-ins have occurred, and those are the cars we're seeing in the parking lot there and that activity. And then 10 more units that are in process there. So a little over halfway kind of leased up for that, that particular part of the development. So looking forward to when we get a little further down the road, celebrating with our partners at Gorman and having some kind of grand open ribbon cutting celebration once things warm up a little bit and we're getting closer to seeing that being fully leased up. So that was the update for council on Smith Ranch Apartments.
That's great. Which leads us into the regular town council meeting and also to the first item we were going to talk about, which is related to the Smith Ranch Apartments and all of the homes in that area. So under the consent calendar in the regular meeting, there was a resolution approving the contract for the traffic signal that will be at the corner of Highway 9 and Ruby Ranch Road, which is right next to the Maverick gas station, which has become quite a busy intersection.
Yes, it has. And you're right, this is something that will be a great improvement for everyone in that area, Smith Ranch Apartments, Smith Ranch Neighborhood, Ruby Ranch, everybody in that area. So contract, previously we had approved a contract for what I would call the dirt work, and this was a contract for the actual signal components themselves. And so that will be underway coming this spring, and a great addition, not just for the drivers in the area, but for pedestrians and bikers who need to get across to the Blue River Trail or wherever they're going at that intersection. So you did mention Maverick, formerly known as Come and Go. They are on the hook for 25% of the funding for that signal because they will be one of the beneficiaries, and that was an agreement that was made way back when Come and Go came into existence at that location, maybe in the late 2008.
Wow. And just so folks know that even though that's a CDOT highway, Highway 9, it's the town's responsibility financially for the project, for the traffic signal.
It is, unfortunately. CDOT controls the ability to put those signals where they're needed, and we had to go through the process of convincing them that there was a need there through the regulations that they have. But then ultimately, municipalities are generally on the hook to make those improvements. So that's what we're paying for.
Got it. It's needed, that's for sure. So I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Under Liquor Board, there was a new beer and wine liquor license for Summit Spa Nails, which is a business located in the Summit Place shopping center. So they will now have an added service for their clients.
Yeah, the owners were in requesting, and council approved that license. So you can have a glass of wine while you're getting your nails done now. or waiting.
Or waiting.
Yeah.
Right. Under action items, there was a resolution approving a disturbance permit application for Arrowleaf townhomes. These are the new townhomes located just behind or just to the west of the Maverick gas station.
Correct. Some of those units are completed. There are some that are still under construction. And the prior approval, the drainage that was approved is not working as designed. And so the developer needed to come in and have the ability to tweak where they're doing that. That required a disturbance permit application to make sure that water's flowing where they need it to flow. And that was approved by the council and then approved by the Planning Commission the week prior.
Okay, great. And under action items, there was also an ordinance amending the 2024 budget. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, going back in time a little bit, we had planned it's really some accounting work, but we from time to time will borrow from one fund to another at the town. And so we had borrowed from water and sewer for some housing work. And rather than paying water and sewer back in 2024 when we're going through year end and looking at where the budget ended up, we're going to do that a little bit down the road and instead do some repayment to our capital fund, which had also been used for some housing. So really some kind of within our own budget accounting across a couple of years.
Okay, great. That actually wraps up the meeting for the evening. Tell us a little bit about Theater Silco. They have a new play right now called The Book Club.
Wanted to give a shout out to our partners at Theater Silco for those that were interested in seeing the book club, and maybe you've gone and seen that the whole run was sold out. We did learn the other day that they have extended that show. So I think it was going to end on the 23rd. They've added 6 shows, and it will run through March 30th. So worked out that those actors were all available, and Theater Silco can provide a longer run for the book club play. So
great.
Yeah, congrats to them.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. We will see you next time.